In this video, I am riding through the Victorian Alps, and particularly over Mt Hotham. As you can see, as I ascend the mountain, there are low-lying clouds in the valleys below. Even at the start of this video, I am already above the cloud line. Mt Hotham exists as part of the Great Dividing Range, the gigantic mountain range that skirts the east coast of Australia. More specifically, Mt Hotham is in the Alpine National Park and close by the Great Alpine Way, which is the road that travels directly through the Alpine National Park. At its peak, Mt Hotham is about 1,860 meters above sea level. The main reason that I was venturing over Mt Hotham was to take an alternative route to get back to Canberra. But I was lucky in that at this point when I was traveling over Mt Hotham, it was later in the day and getting close to sunset, so as I ascended the mountain, I was treated to some truly spectacular sunsets. Despite being the middle of summer, it actually got quite cold on the top of the mountain, probably below 20, maybe even as low as 15 degrees. The road itself was actually quite treacherous when I was going across the mountain. It turns out that in preparation for the summer and the tourist season, the mountain had been retarred, but unfortunately they hadn't done a very good job, and in the heat and the sun, the tar was actually melting off the road. So in order to make the road a bit more stable, the council workers and road workers covered the road in gravel, which for cars this probably helped, but for a motorbike it made it quite dangerous to be travelling on these tight curving roads with a steep drop on either side. You might notice small huts built on the side of the road. These are generally built as an emergency measure for travellers who are on the road who might need a place to shelter during winter when the mountain top will be covered with snow. At around this point was the first time that I saw that clouds were rolling over the top of the mountain, and I realized that they were so low that they would actually be over the top of the road and that I would probably have to ride through them. This was quite a strange sensation, as I'd never been this high on a mountain before to see clouds actually floating right next to me. The sensation of going through the clouds was very much the same as going through mist, although the air wasn't quite as moist as I expected it to be. Most of the sky was still empty of clouds, so I was treated to the view of the sunset hitting the clouds as they were crossing over the mountain. The footage here really doesn't capture just how far you can see over the mountains from the top of Mt Hotham. You can see in the distance there are mountains that extend on towards the horizon. This is the Great Dividing Range, and even though you can't really capture this in footage, in person you can just see these mountains extend onwards and onwards. It gives you a really visceral sense of just how big these mountains are and how long and how far they go on for. I wish I had more to say, but the truth is that the footage really speaks to itself. In about 30 seconds or so, there comes a point where I stop on the side of the road to watch the sunset as the sun is going just below the horizon, and it's truly spectacular, so stick around in the video for that. But at this point I'm going to check out, and I'll let you enjoy the music and the views from here on.